people. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. I am buzzing with excitement here on The Heartbeat with Christine Saunders. How is everyone today?
Wonderful.
Hi, Jonathan, Pam, and Craig McHugh are here.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Good morning, Dave.
Morning. It's like we got the UN on this morning, isn't it? We got that many people on. Flipping out. I don't know if I'm coming or going now.
We have an exciting show today, but first I have to shout out some good luck. Dave, our dear friend Katie Fankhauser is over in Spain this week preparing for the World Champion Freestyle Kayak Championship.
Oh, right, yeah. That's a freestyle. What's she doing? Swimming in it?
She's like doing flips and all those kinds of things.
All right.
So,
I thought she was dragging the canoe behind her while she was swimming when you said freestyle.
That's a new sport.
Right?
Yeah. How good would that be? If you had a sail on the back of it, it'd be great. You'd be swimming like the clappers.
You've got an idea.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're not gonna lollygag today. We're gonna get rolling because we have a jam-packed show, and I'm super excited. Today, my guest host Jonathan is here with me, and we get to interview Pam and Craig McHugh from Living Your Learning up in Portsmouth in the UK. And so, Jonathan, I'm going to have you guys introduce yourself, but Jonathan, reintroduce yourself because you've been on with me before. But what's going on?
Yeah, hey, it's really exciting to be a co-host this morning. I won't lie, it's a little bit nervous, I think, being on this side of it. I don't know how you do it, Chris.
It's really fun. You'll get the hang of it. Jonathan's going to be with me, from here and there every once in a while. So I'm excited that you're doing that with me. Pam, please, would you do the honor of telling us a little bit about you? Did we lose Pam?
See, you've scared her already. The thought of coming on.
I may have scared her already.
I don't know where she's gone, Christine.
Well, that's okay.
Maybe it's her connection.
I'm back.
Oh,
there you are.
God
the
for
lovely
that.
Pam.
You worried me to death. I thought we were going to have to send out a, helicopter and all sorts then to try and find you. She's running up the road.
I think Pam thought it was really fun to go freestyle kayaking, so she just left.
Yeah.
Just got back in. It was awesome.
Pam, would you tell us a little bit about yourself? I think she doesn't want to tell us about herself.
Pam, talk to us. We've had a bath. Talk to you don't be shy.
Apologies, guys. What's happened? I've just had to move prison cells. That sounds weird, I know.
You've had some what?
We work in an old naval prison, and I was in a prison cell that had terrible connection. I've just literally skimmed along the corridor and found another open prison cell, so that's where I've been. Apologies.
My God, we've never had a show coming from there before. What's that all about?
It's on the historic dockyard. It's a converted old prison, and it's like now office buildings. And I just had to find a different cell that let me speak to people, really.
Oh my God.
I bet the inmates were saying that in the time.
We just want you to know, Pam. We just want you to know, Pam, that if Craig is keeping you in a prison, that you can call us for help.
SOS.
The secret word is, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, Pam, would you please do us the honor of telling us about yourself?
Well, apart from obviously being locked and currently in prison, I'm Pam. I was born and bred in Portsmouth in the UK, and I am the co-founder of the amazing company of Living Your Learning, which is obviously the amazing way that obviously we've met you, Christine, and that's why we're here today.
Oh, fantastic. And Craig, tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, thank you, Christine. Hey, everyone. Really great to be on the show. I'm also in a prison cell today. I'm in a cell just along the corridor.
This is worrying.
You should see this place. It's such an awesome place to work. But anyway, so co-founder of Living Your Learning, Pam's husband, newly wedded husband, and I've been in Portsmouth for about 12 years now. I was actually born in Germany, of all places, and have moved around a lot. Now in I'd say the sunny Portsmouth, but it's actually tipping down with rain at the moment. But we're in the beautiful historic dockyard, and it's just awesome to be on the show today.
Oh, I'm so excited to have both of you and Jonathan co-hosting with me and Dave running our ship, which he always does every day or every Tuesday. So thank you, Dave. We have a jam-packed show, and I'm going to dive into some content here in a second. We're going to go take our first break, and we're going to listen to Hall & Oates. I'll be around, and we'll be right back with Pam and Craig.
Best variety of music and conversation.
You're listening to Expat Radio, beaming out across France and around the world.
Oh, welcome back to The Heartbeat, everyone, with me, Christine Saunders, and my special guest, Pam and Craig McHugh, with my special host, Jonathan Darling. Today, we're going to dive in. So, you guys just introduced yourselves, and you are newly married, and I can't, skim over that because the pictures looked so phenomenal, and I know, Pam, you're just, ecstatic about it, because when I asked about pictures, you're like, they're going to be all wedding pictures. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
The two of you. It's so fantastic.
And I would like to add, and I mentioned this on the day of their wedding. The mail, for those listeners who don't understand, the United States Postal Service is sometimes a little lacking. And I believe that my invitation, Craig and Pam, to you guys' wedding was lost in the mail, and I was really sad about that because I was looking forward to, being with my bald-headed brother and celebrating the day. So since those of us whose invitations got lost, you guys obviously do a lot of work together in Living Your Learning, and you're recently married. How did you two meet? How did you guys, how did all of this take place to where you guys are now in your life?
So it's quite a funny story, actually, Jonathan. And we did complain to the US Postal Service.
I wrote a very strongly worded letter for you.
I was going to say, I've just had a guy pull up here on a horse at the front gate of my house here, Pony Express. I'm like, what the hell is that? And apparently it says invitation on the top of it, so I don't know what that's all about. It's nothing to do with you guys, is it?
Possibly.
The story of how we met is quite funny, actually. We met in a local Indian restaurant, of all places, 9 years ago. Almost to the month. And I was on a night out with a friend. The friend said, "Oh, you should come along and meet Pam." And it was just kind of one of those random nights out. But I do remember saying to a friend that very night that I'm going to marry that girl one day. And on the 3rd of May, we did just that, and we've been together ever since. It's been the best 9 years of certainly my life. And 2 and a bit years ago, we started Living Your Learning off the back of an idea that I had, and we just haven't looked back since. It's just been absolutely amazing.
Oh, that is fantastic. Pam, I'm sure you remembered exactly a fairy tale like that, right?
Not the first meeting, but the wedding, yes. It took him a good 3 months before I kind of thought, okay, I might try him out.
Oh my gosh, that's
try him
awesome.
out? That's not, what do you mean, try him out? Grief above.
This is a family show, kids. Come on.
No, I'm just thinking. I've just picked someone. I'm going to try them out for a month. See if that works. Any good?
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. So this idea of Living Your Learning, how did that come about? Tell us what exactly Living Your Learning is.
So I'll tell this story because it kind of started off with a meeting that I had with a really good friend of mine, a chap called Tim Keener, who also has a training company, and I was heading up a learning and development department in a big company at the time, and I was, I suppose, for want of a better word, a little bit professionally unfulfilled. There was more that I thought I could do. And I had this meeting with this guy called Tim, who was helping us out with some work that we were doing. And we talked about that very briefly, and he said, well, now we want to talk about you. And we just had this most amazing conversation, which was all based around values. And he pulled out this pack of cards which had values written on them, and he asked me to go through them and pick out 4 or 5 values that meant the most to me, which I did. And then he asked me the killer question, which was, do these exist in your life at the moment? And I had to say no, and it was quite a significant moment, because I realised that I needed these, and this was why I was feeling really unfulfilled. And that very evening, this was in Bristol. That very evening, I was getting the train home, and I rang Pam and went, "I'm quitting." And she was like, "What?"
Say again.
Yeah, we're going to start a business, and that was in November. And I went back to work on the 2nd of January, handed in my notice, and then we started the business a month later.
Wow.
That's absolutely incredible. And Pam, I've got to say, for one, because I know that if I came home and I told my wife that I was quitting my job, she would tell me no, I wasn't, and to get back to work. How is that? Like, how did that moment feel for you, and what was that like in learning about Craig's dream at that point?
It was a weird one. Obviously, when you first sort of said it, yes, straight away, like, oh my goodness, no, you can't, how are we going to afford to live, etc., etc. But I knew he needed more, and I trusted him, and I knew that what he wanted to do was right, because I kind of like was feeling it as well in the training sort of world that I'd been receiving. So it was total, utter belief. Yeah, okay, I trust you. I know this is going to work. Just live your dreams.
And at that point, you guys weren't married, so if you needed to cut tail and run, you could.
Absolutely. I was home dry away.
Oh, my gosh. That's awesome. So you guys do, like, corporate, workshops and personal workshops. Tell us a little bit about your offerings of Living Your Learning.
So yeah, the idea around Living Your Learning, where it's in the name, is that the one thing that we both felt was wrong about training development and personal development and leadership development, all of that, was that people would go along to a workshop. Probably 8-9 times out of 10, they probably didn't want to be there or didn't know why they were there, and then they'll go back to their work life or their daily life, and nothing would change. So the idea around Living Your Learning is that people would live their learning, and it would result in real change and real improvement, and people being better at what they do. So and that's what we do. We want people just to be better at what they do, because when you're better at what you do, you can do really amazing things, and you can have a really amazing impact on those you're leading, those you're working with, or just your own life and the life of those around you. And so, yeah, we go into corporations, we help people personally. We deliver programs and workshops and coaching and mentoring just for the sole purpose of helping people be better at what they do.
Oh, that's awesome. And so I just have a question for both of you. When I put the promo out for the show, I described you as a legendary power couple. What do you think when I say that?
That you're talking about someone else.
Yeah. Not little old us.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing to hear that and to see that. But we don't see ourselves as that at all. We just do what we do. We do it because we love it. We're not here to get rich or famous. That's not what it's about. We want to make a difference to people, and we want people to make a difference to the world around them. And it's a bit like throwing a stone in a pond and the ripples go out. The more we can do that, and the more other people can do that, and it just spreads, and the ripples go out further and further. So yeah, and it's just working, and we just try to do the very best we can do for other people, and so far so good. People seem to love it, and it seems to actually really make a difference to people.
That's awesome. And so a couple of things, like I always like to, on my show, for some reason, every person that I connect with almost has Ryan Hartley connected in there somewhere. And this is yet another connection that I've made through Ryan Hartley. And so I know that you guys just did a workshop, and he was a presenter and a speaker. And so was that something that you hadn't done before? Like have some guests in? Is that new for you?
That was the very first time. So we'd done a couple of really small events here in Portsmouth where, probably about 10 or so people came along to about various subjects, and they seemed to go down quite well. We went to an event where we came across Ephraim from Strong Men and his charity, and we knew that Ryan had an amazing message to give, and it was also Mental Health Awareness Week. I'm not sure if it was in the US, but it certainly was here in the UK, and that's something that's very close to our hearts. We both had our challenges over the years and still do every now and again, and we thought, you know what, we really want to help people with this, and we want to try and remove that stigma and get people talking about it and really give some awesome tips and strategies to help people have a better mindset, because when you have a better mindset you can literally do anything, I think. And so we went for it, and we didn't know if we were going to fill it. We didn't know if we were going to cover all our costs, but we didn't care, to be honest with you.
Right.
We wanted to give Ryan a platform to share his phenomenal message, and to give these guys from Strong Men a platform to share their message. And we just went for it, and we pulled it off. It was amazing.
Yeah, looked awesome. Looked really, really fun. So I want to dive into maybe, a little bit of I think the listeners always like to have a takeaway when I have folks on, something that they can take and live their learning in this case. And so there's a couple ways. If you guys have questions for Pam and Craig, if you head to my Instagram page, I have a question in my story. You can ask questions and I'll check it out during the break. That's at Follow Your Whole Heart. You can always email expatradio.fr@gmail.com, and we'll have questions there. But let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back, and we're going to listen to Daft Punk, Get Lucky, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to The Heartbeat with Christine Saunders and my very, very special guest, Pam and Craig McHugh, with my ultra special guest, Jonathan Darling, as my co-host. So this last session before the break, we talked a lot about living your learning, and some words were mentioned: leadership, mindset, values, purpose, those sorts of things. And so here's my one question, and this is where I like to give the listeners some sort of tidbit or takeaway from our, what I like to call, legendary power couple, even though you guys don't see yourselves like that. So here's my quick question. So, now is like the time for graduation, transitions in life, like next chapter. June is like weddings, those sorts of things. From a mindset purpose, what would you guys tell someone who came to you saying, hey, these are the things that are going on in my life. I'm graduating, I'm going to college, and, those sorts of things. What kind of mentoring would you give?
I think for me, and I mean, I learn so much. Every time Craig does a workshop on mindset, I learn every single time, and it's amazing. But I think for me, and something that I really believe in is, yes, you can be in that future kind of thought pattern and that future mindset to plan, have your dreams, have your goals, but don't stay there. Come back to the present to ensure you actually do it there and then, and do it correctly, do it with passion. Because if you just keep dreaming, yes, that's fantastic, but bring yourself back into that present and really go for it. That's kind of show up and take everything on board.
Right. And Craig, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. I've been going back to a really famous quote by President Kennedy. We choose to go to the moon and do the other things, not because they're easy, because they're hard. And I keep coming back to that quote, and that for me encapsulates purpose. And I think we all have our own moon to go for, and when that moon is a really awesome place, and it's gonna really make a difference, and it's gonna have an impact, then yeah, really go for it. But you can only get to your moon if you take positive action now. So there's a certain amount of, yes, you have your goals and your ambitions, as Pam said, but you can only do something about those now. So rather than just keep chasing and not doing anything about it, yes, I suppose do a certain amount of chasing, but also embrace. Because I think what we do is we spend an awful lot of time chasing something that actually will never come. because all you have is right now. So embrace a little bit. And it reminds me of something Brené Brown said, who me and Pam love, which is we spend so long chasing the extraordinary moments that actually we miss the ordinary moments that we would miss if they were gone. And I think there's so much wisdom and value in that. Is have your goals and really go for your moon, but you can only do something about it now. So make sure you stay in the present moment, embrace that, and do everything you can in that present moment, and you'll get to your moon.
I love that Brene Brown quote. It's actually one of my favorites. And so I've got to ask Craig and Pam, obviously you guys are building a business and you guys are going out there and consistently working to make an impact in your community and in people's lives around you. And your focus has to be on business development and gaining more clients. What are some of the ordinary things, if you were to think about it right now, what are some of the ordinary things that maybe you might overlook on a daily basis, but that you really feel like you need to appreciate more yourselves?
Oh, wow, that's a really tough question. That's really tough. I think sometimes it's when you get caught up in day-to-day life and business, and you're so worried about all those extraordinary things that it's those well, certainly for me, it's those ordinary moments when I'm with Pam or with our friends that maybe sometimes you take for granted, or maybe you feel are getting in the way of something else. It's those things that I really miss, and I'm going to be really honest with you. I love nothing more every now and again than a duvet day in my penguin onesie, eating chocolate and drinking and having a nice glass of wine. And I think, you know what, we all need those days, and it's fine to have them. Don't have too many of them because you get particularly the chocolate and the wine, because you get a big belly like me. But you know, you do need to enjoy those everyday moments, because I think for me and Pam, we're doing all of the other stuff so that we can have those ordinary moments. And if that makes sense.
I think recently also as well, we've been very much doing the gratitude thing, not just looking in the mirror and doing, but being grateful for what we have just so naturally that we don't have to work at. It's just sort of elevating towards us, and that's sometimes a really good thing that we do. We're just thankful for what we have got.
That's beautiful. You know, I was just thinking about, you know, I think in coming back to a little bit of my first question, and, you know, we have all these young people who are graduating from high school and college, and, you know, there's pressure to find work and jobs and to find, you know, when I was growing up, it was like, find a job that you have good benefits and good pay and stability. And like, it doesn't matter at that time. It didn't really matter whether you liked the job or not. It was just, you know, you have to support yourself or your family or those sorts of things. And I think what I've recently sort of been thinking about is sometimes I feel like we're doing it a little bit backwards. I have some aging parents, and so I have a perspective that's a little bit different in the last few months. And so it's like, I feel like we as a society are doing it backwards. Like, we should go out and do all the things that we love when we're young and able. 100%. And so what are your thoughts on that? And then, you know, you can work a little bit when you're older.
Yeah, I would 1,000,000% agree with that. I think if you do what you love, you do great work. I think Steve Jobs said that. And sometimes it takes time to work out. And he also said you can only connect the dots looking backwards. But just go out and do your very, very best. You will find your way, and trust that it's going to work out. But yeah, do something you love. Really get a feel for what your purpose may be, and then just go and absolutely smash it.
Awesome. Those are great takeaways. Let's take another quick break, and then we come back and have some more questions for the two of you. And I'm sure Jonathan has some too. And we do have some questions on Instagram that I'm going to try and get to. But let's go out to Lulu Teardrops, and we'll be right back with Craig and Pam.
Welcome back to The Heartbeat. I'm Jonathan, and I'm co-hosting this morning with the wonderful and awesome Christine Saunders, and We're here with Craig and Pam from Living Your Learning, and I wanted to follow up on a question from something that came up from the last segment. And Chris was talking to you guys about helping someone, in these transition phases in their life. And there were talks about following dreams and chasing your purpose and different things. And one of the things that I found is that oftentimes people mistake purpose for position or destination. And they think they can't live out their purpose until they get to a certain spot or get to a certain point. How do you guys help people navigate their purpose and learn what it truly is? And what does living out your purpose or finding your purpose mean to you guys in living your learning?
That is such a good question, my friend. Such a good question. So I used to be one of those people that paid a lot of attention to position and salaries and stuff like that, until I realised that it didn't matter how much I earned and what my job title was. Actually, it didn't mean anything, and it wasn't fulfilling. And I found my purpose, which is what Living Your Learning's purpose is centered on, by reading Start With Why, Simon Sinek's Start With Why. The guy's my hero. It was literally life-changing, and all of a sudden everything just clicked, and no longer was it about position or salary. What it was about was doing what I truly loved, that gave me fulfillment and joy. And what gave me fulfillment and joy was helping other people be absolutely awesome at what they do. And it was about the impact that I was having on other people in a positive way. That's what purpose is about. And salary and position doesn't mean anything now. I mean, myself and Pam are certainly not in this for the money, believe us. But success isn't about that for us. Success is the journey that you go on. And when we're retired and sitting in our deck chairs somewhere, looking back and going, yeah, do you know what? We made a bit of a difference, and we helped other people make a difference. That's what it's about. And we quit our jobs and we went out there and created our own job. And I think when you find your purpose, you can do that. You can go out and you can create your own job that has an impact on other people and the world. And there honestly isn't anything more amazing than that.
That's brilliant. I love that answer.
It's such a good.
Yeah.
Because I think, for me, and Chris and I have talked about this a lot, and I think, Craig, you and I have talked about it, and Pam, you and I haven't had as many conversations together, just back and forth on Facebook here or there. But, I think sometimes people lose the sight of the fulfillment in their life is going to come, kind of like you said, when they love what they do. But then the part I think we miss a little bit is when you learn how to use your gifts and your talents that you've been given to lift up and make an impact in other people's lives. And it's that connection and that relationship that really helps us find that meaning in who we are and what we were put here on earth to do. And so I always get curious when I talk to people like you guys, especially with what you do for a living, as to how you feel about purpose and how you help people find purpose. And I think your answer was just incredibly awesome.
Thank you. And what you just described there, Jonathan, in our eyes, and I know you're so passionate about this, and you're on a mission to encourage us in everyone that you come across. What you just described there is what real leadership is all about. And that's what we try to get across to people as well, and particularly when we're working with leaders and corporations, is that, you know what, we're on this planet, I think, to make a difference and to connect with people. And the last thing this life is about us. It's about other people. That's what it's about. And I can't even say it much more than that. And that's what myself and Pam go out there and try and do.
very much. When I work with people, I'm quite an observer, and I just literally watch people, and then I just bring them back and just say to them, right, okay, if you did that in a different way, how would that impact you? How would that impact that person? What would the situation be if we just did it differently? And I just love opening people's eyes, light bulb moments, and then just seeing people change and evolve. It's just amazing. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It's just wonderful.
Ugh, I love that you are getting goosebumps because I get the same thing. I have that same reaction when I can see somebody's face, like, oh, like they get something new that you've told them. I really, really get that. So before we go a little bit further, and then I have one more question before, unfortunately, our hour is pretty up. But my question, my first thing is, can you guys share with us how people can get a hold of you, where they can follow you? I want to make sure that if people have questions, they can get a hold of you. So share that, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a Facebook page. So obviously myself and Pam are on Facebook, Craig McHugh and Pam McHugh. We have Facebook page, Living Your Learning, Instagram, Living Your Learning. We're also both on LinkedIn. And Living Your Learning is on LinkedIn as well. And yeah, we love connecting with people, and we love helping people out and just, helping them see different perspectives. So honestly, guys, if anyone listening has any questions whatsoever, we are so absolutely delighted to connect with you and to have a chat with you. If you're near Portsmouth, come and have a coffee with us. If you want to do a Skype call, do a Skype call. We'll be absolutely delighted.
Awesome. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we have a little over 84,000 people listening today, which is fantastic to get this message. Isn't that fantastic? Yeah. And so I'm so excited. I
just want to say hello to the Amore team that are listening in as well. So there's 5 extra people on top of that.
Awesome. That's so cool. Here's my last question. And we'll start with you, Pam. What is the best advice that you have gotten from Craig?
Okay. For me, it's the word courage. I took a good year of still working in my job before I joined the business, and I know he made a courageous, brave step in jumping out and doing this. And for me, he always reminds me to take that first step, deep breath, do it, go for it. What's the worst that can happen? And as I mentioned earlier about daring greatly, and he has helped me dare out of my comfort zone, or zone 1 as we like to say, into zone 2, so it doesn't seem so scary. And it's just showing up. He always supports me in that way.
Oh, fantastic. And Craig, best advice Pam's given you?
Never ever give up. I'm myself and Pam, but me particularly, I'm not infallible. I have my really tough days where I'm not feeling it, or I'm feeling my mindset's not so good, or I'm feeling stressed or down or whatever. We all do. And on those days, Pam, if I'm at home, she will point to a picture we've got on the wall, which is a quote by Winston Churchill, which is never give up. Or she'll send me a photo of it, and she keeps me going in so many different ways. She's my protector, she's my why, she's all of that stuff. And with her by my side, I'll never ever give up.
That's so sweet. Jonathan, do you have any questions? I know. I love it. Jonathan, any questions? We have about 3-4 minutes.
So I do have to ask, just because I wasn't there in order to see it. So I have to ask Greg, because I know how it was for me when I was standing there and I got to see my future bride walking down the aisle for the first time, and I'm kind of a romantic. So Craig, I want to know, when your partner in business, your partner in life, someone you had spent the last 9 years with, what was your first thought when you saw Pam as she was coming down the aisle to be your bride?
Oh, blimey! It's all a bit of a blur now, but no, just wow and love. Just very quickly, I actually had a panic attack the night before because I was that scared and nervous about putting myself out there because I'm quite a private person. And yeah, I've never been so scared in my life. And when she walked down the aisle and I saw how beautiful she was, and everything else just disappeared. The only thing that was important was her, and everything in the world was all right. It was one of the best moments of my life.
How does that make you feel, Pam? Has he told you that before?
He avoids all the soppy stuff. But that now I knew by his. I was really worried he wasn't going to turn up. I really was worried for him, and when I saw him there, it was like, ooh. But no, it's lovely to hear. And people asked us, is it difficult working and living together, being married? And it's so not. That's the good thing about it. It's so easy. It just comes naturally for us, and it's wonderful. It's great. We're so lucky, and we're so grateful for what we do and who we speak to and who we help.
That's so awesome. I can't thank you all enough for joining me today on The Heartbeat. I feel very honored and privileged to share this space with you this last hour. And like I said earlier, we will do this again. And I really want to make sure that people please go follow Living Your Learning and Pam and Craig McHugh, because they're fantastic people, great content.
Thank you so much.
Really in it for the people aspect, and I love it. And Jonathan, thank you for co-hosting with me. You did a fantastic job. It's going to be awesome.
It was my pleasure. I will tell you, I was extremely nervous starting out, but it really is incredible getting to know Craig and Pam a little bit more, and I obviously follow you guys myself, and am just admired and enamored with who you guys are as people and as a couple, and am so incredibly happy for you guys in your marriage, and just look forward to seeing what you guys do together to impact this world. It's really cool what you guys do.
Thank you.
And for us, the same for you guys. You both do such amazing things, and we just love everything about both of you and what you do and what you're about and what you stand for. So yeah, you're absolutely awesome, and yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, guys, because it's amazing. It's phenomenal. You really make a difference.
Yeah, both beautiful souls. So thank you.
Thank you. That's amazing. And of course, Dave, we wouldn't be here without you steering our boat, setting our sail.
Thank you, Dave.
You're very welcome. Dave. I've got to tell you, right, I was best man. A funny story. I was best man for my cousin twice. Right. But the first time he got married in the church, I was more nervous than him. And what happened was, it was being videoed, and we actually did what do you call it? We both checked our flies at the same time as the bride was walking up the aisle. We both turned, saw her, and we both went, "Oh!" And we both checked that our flies were shut. But at the same time, it was just ridiculous how we both did it at the same time. But then when he got married the second time, I said, "Whatever you do, before you get out there, check that your flies are shut, because if we get caught on the second video doing it again." It's going to be like...
Always check your flies.
So that was words to live by.
Yeah. The vic is looking at us. The first time it was like he gave us a dirty look and I said, I don't want the vicar looking at me the second time the way he looked at us the first time. So yeah,
brilliant.
Oh my God, that's funny. So our last song is Nelly Furtado's "All Things Good Come to an End," just like this amazing show. Thank you all so very much. Have an amazing week, and thank you, Dave. See you all next week, and we are done with The Heartbeat today. Thank you all.
All right, guys, have a great week.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
See you soon.